I'm 74 years old, and I need to tell you something I believed for most of my life. I believed I still had time. You know, not endless time. I knew life ends, but I always believed there was enough time. Enough time to slow down later. Enough time to fix what I neglected. Enough time to make up for the nights I missed and the calls I didn't return, because I kept telling myself I'd do it when things were calmer. My name is Edward. And if you're the kind of person who says, after this quarter, after this project, after the kids are older, then I'm talking to you, because I was you for a long time. I lived my life in waiting mode, waiting for the right season, waiting for things to calm down, waiting for retirement. Like retirement was a door I could walk through and suddenly become the version of myself I kept promising I'd be. I wasn't lazy. I worked hard. I built a career at a manufacturing company, and the problems never stopped. Something was always late, broken, or on fire. And I started living like every emergency mattered more than my life. Like if I just fixed one more thing, then everything would finally settle. My wife, Linda, used to cook dinner at 6:30 every night. Simple meals, chicken and potatoes, pasta with the sauce she learned from her aunt. Our kids, Caleb and Nora, would sit at the table and talk about their day. Nora would tell these long stories, and Caleb would pretend he wasn't listening. And I would walk in at 7:15 or 8 o'clock, or sometimes not at all. When I did make it home, I'd take a few bites, nod at the right moments, and my mind would drift back to work. Linda would ask how my day was, and I'd answer without really answering. The kids would talk, and I'd listen like I was listening from far away. I told myself it was temporary. I really did. That once things were stable, I'd finally breathe and be present. That promise became my habit. There's a memory I can't shake. Nora was 9 years old. She had a school play. She practiced her lines for weeks, walking around the house with a plastic crown on her head like she was already on stage. The day of the play, Linda reminded me 3 times. Tickets by my keys, a note on the fridge, a text at noon, please don't be late. I promised I wouldn't be. At 5:30, I was still at work. A shipment was delayed. Somebody had messed up paperwork, and I was pacing, calling, trying to fix it. I kept telling myself I'd leave in 5 minutes. 5 minutes turned into 20. 20 turned into 40. And I kept telling myself I was almost done. Almost. By the time I reached the school, the parking lot was full. I slipped into the back row. Nora was already on stage. I watched her scan the audience. She found Linda immediately. Then she looked again. And when she didn't see me, her face changed just slightly, like she swallowed something. After the show, I told her she did great. I told her I was proud. She said, "It's okay, Dad. I knew you were busy." That's not something a 9-year-old should have to say. But I let her say it anyway. I let her become the understanding one. Caleb had his own version of this. When he was in high school, he used to call me on his way home. Not for anything important, just to talk. A teacher he couldn't stand. A song he liked. A girl he was nervous around. Sometimes I answered, sometimes I didn't. I'd see the missed call and think, I'll call him back tonight. But nights were full. Dinner, shower, one more email, the TV on, and then sleep. And calling him back felt less urgent than the next problem. Eventually, the calls stopped. Not all at once, just less and less. Not out of anger, just habit. He learned I wasn't consistently available, so he adjusted. People do that when you teach them, quietly, that they can't count on you. Years passed. The arguments with Linda didn't start loud. They started quiet. A sigh when I walked in late. A pause when I said, "Not tonight." A look that said, "Do you even hear me?" And I'd respond with the same promise every time. Soon, after this busy season. But things never calmed down. They just changed shape. Then the kids grew up. That part happens fast. One day you're making lunches, and the next day you're standing in a driveway, watching a car pull away, and you don't realize you're watching the end of something. Nora went to college. Caleb moved out later. The house got quieter. Linda and I fell into routines. Sometimes we'd sit in the living room with the TV on, and we wouldn't talk at all. Not because we hated each other, because we had gotten used to living parallel lives. Retirement became my finish line, the thing I kept pointing at, like proof. I said it like a prayer. When I retire, we'll travel. When I retire, I'll take care of my health. When I retire, I'll finally relax. Then one morning I woke up with a tightness in my chest, not sharp pain, pressure, like someone had placed a heavy book right on my sternum. I sat up slowly and tried to breathe through it. I told myself it was stress, indigestion. I had worked late and eaten too fast. Linda looked at me and said, "We're going in." I argued, "It's probably nothing." She didn't raise her voice. She just said, "Please don't make me live the rest of my life wondering if I could have stopped something." So we went. I remember that waiting room better than entire years. The smell of disinfectant, a vending machine humming, a clock on the wall moving 1 second at a time like it was making a point. The doctor told me it was a minor cardiac event, not catastrophic, but a warning. He said, "You're lucky you came in." Lucky. That word hit me harder than it should have, because lying in that hospital bed later, with my phone finally silent, I had nothing to do but think. And I realized something terrifying. I wasn't scared of dying. I was scared of how I had lived. I replayed moments, like scenes I couldn't turn off. Nora scanning the audience. Caleb's calls. Linda's quiet sighs. The dinners I missed because a report felt urgent. The weekends, I promised, would make up for the weekdays, even though weekends were usually swallowed by fatigue and just one more thing. I realized most of my life had been spent preparing for a future I assumed I'd get. And even if I did get it, I had built my relationships on absence. You can't build closeness on later. You build it on ordinary days, on being there when the story is small, on listening when you'd rather escape. I came home 2 days later. Same street, same driveway with that crack forever, but I felt like I was walking back into a life I had been half living. In the kitchen, I opened a drawer looking for tape and found a stack of papers, old drawings from when Nora was little, crayons, stick figures, a son in the corner. One drawing was of our family, except the father was off to the side, smaller than the others, holding something that looked like a phone. I stood there staring at it like it was evidence. Linda walked in, saw what I was holding, and she didn't say anything. She just looked tired. That night I tried to talk, not the usual, "How was your day?" talk, real talk. I said, "I think I've been gone even when I'm here." Linda stared at her hands for a long time. Then she said quietly, "I stopped expecting you." That sentence was like a door closing. When people stop expecting you, they stop reaching. I tried to fix things after that. I cut back on work. I started calling the kids more. I took walks. I tried to be different. But here's the truth. You can't compress years of absence into a month of effort. You can't manufacture the closeness you didn't help build. Caleb answers when I call now. He's polite. He asks how I'm doing. We talk about work, about the weather, about normal things. But I can feel the distance, like he's careful not to need too much from me. Nora visits sometimes. She shows me pictures on her phone. She laughs. She hugs Linda longer than she hugs me, and I understand why. Linda and I are still married. We still share a home. We still share history, but we don't have what we could have had. We have a life shaped by postponed conversations, and that's on me. I used to think providing was the same as being present. I used to think love could be shown later when I had time. But love doesn't live in later. It lives in the call you answer, in the dinner you don't rush, in the school play you show up to on time, in the moment you put the phone down and actually listen. If you're watching this and telling yourself you'll slow down later, I'm not here to shame you. I'm here to warn you, because I told myself the exact same thing. I thought I was different. I thought my situation was special. I thought the sacrifice would pay off and everything would balance out in the end. But the finish line keeps moving. Work will always ask for more. It doesn't know when to stop. It doesn't care that your child is only 9 once or that your body has limits. It will take whatever you give it and then ask for more tomorrow. And one day, you look up and realize the people you love learned to live without you. Not because they hate you, because they had to. I'm 74 now. I have more free time than I ever imagined having at 40. And you know what's heartbreaking? Some of the people I wanted to share this time with don't need it the way they used to. They've built their lives. They have routines that don't include waiting for me. So, when I tell you I thought I had more time, I'm not just talking about years on a calendar. I'm talking about the window where your presence changes a relationship. That window is smaller than you think. I learned this too late. Don't wait for a scare to wake you up. When this ends, choose people over urgency. Put the phone down. Be present. Time is already moving.